I told you I had a new song.
I like it, man.
I
like it.
This is too short, so I didn't have the whole 30-second drop in, so it was silent for the first 10 seconds to throw you off. I did that on purpose.
Amazing.
Oh, what's up, everybody?
How's everybody's Monday?
You asking me too?
Yeah.
Man.
You count as everybody. How's your Monday going?
Dude, because I'm human, it started out horribly, and now it's good.
Good.
My dogs decided at 2 a.m. that they were going to start whining for no apparent reason.
Okay.
And they did not stop no matter what, even after being let outside and stuff until like 4. So my sleep was already disrupted because of the live show and then that. So I got up late, which means I missed my 6 a.m. workout.
Oh, bummer.
Which made me immediately grumpy. So I felt like my day started on the wrong foot.
Yeah. I hear you.
But I got me some breakfast, and then I met with a client who's doing super good, and that made me have a better day. So
awesome.
At the end of the day, it was a good day. It was a good day today.
Yeah.
So, thanks for asking, dude.
Sean says he had a long day. It was one of those days where you feel like you're attacked from every single angle. Started off that way. It ended pretty good. I mean, I had some really good one-on-one sessions with clients. That's
awesome.
That always brings you out of your funk, brings you back to reality pretty quick.
Yeah,
when you see them doing well. So
yeah, Doug back.
Ended well. Came broadcasting live from Casa de Melissa tonight.
I'm not in the office. Casa de Dylan. Casa de Dylan.
Yeah, I had to we had some dinner. Really good dinner, hung out, and yeah, it's been a good night.
That's what's up.
Ready to get this live going.
Doug, I think we're pretty good. I think we're doing good over on this side. Hope you're doing good too. So for those of you that are new to the show, you ready for the spiel? I'll start. I'll volunteer.
Let's hear it.
Volunteers tribute.
Let's go.
My name is Dylan Reed. I am a professional recovery coach. I know what it was like to be drunk because I was drunk for a really long time, which I'm now sober, and I help other people get sober because I know how bad being drunk sucks. So if you're drunk, you're tired of being a drunk, tired of people calling you drunk, I know a guy, me, that can help you quit being that guy. So hit me up.
I like it. And I am Dr. Ryan. I'm an expert in relationship development and interpersonal communication. I too have had my share of terrible relationships. I understand how draining they are, but I also know how to fix them. I know how to fix them very quickly within 60 days to get you back on your feet, happy, healthy, thriving, and having a good time enjoying your relationship.
I like that. I know a couple of people that could use you if they would just make the investment in their relationship to do that.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, that's the thing. You want to make it's about making the investment. I mean, I broke it down pretty good. The average divorce is right around $75,000 to $80,000, not accounting for any alimony or replacement of lost assets.
Good God.
And that's just the first year.
Yeah.
I mean, legal fees, mediation, expert witnesses, property division, a new house, alimony, child support, child therapy, adult therapy, health insurance.
Have you been through this yourself?
No. No. I've seen people go through it. I've seen the research. You
know what you do.
I just know what I know. And yeah, man, it puts it into perspective. Would you rather spend just a little bit of money now to save your relationship? Or would you rather spend $80,000 the first year on a divorce plus recurring costs every single year after that. So I would personally rather just fix it.
Well, here's my thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
You want them?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
If I had to decide if I was going to get a divorce or hire someone to help me with not getting a divorce,
Yeah.
I'm going to hire someone.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna hire someone to help get me through it. Just it's like if you're gonna get sober, been emotional, but also been able to place them and work through them without drinking. I love it.
that's a good day in my book.
It's really good.
So if you're new to the show, we take questions live on the air. It's our favorite thing to do. That's why we're here, actually, believe it or not. Dylan and the Doc, where relationships meets recovery, or recovery meets relationships. I don't think it matters because they have so much in common. It's unbelievable. And the longer you tune into the show, you'll believe it. It's that simple. So if you've got any questions about your relationship, whether it's failing or flailing or doing good, this guy over here has got it all. And if you've got questions about sobriety, if you are sober, or if you're still drinking, if you're sober curious, you're not sure if you want to quit drinking, or maybe you don't think you have a drinking problem, we like to take those questions. We want to hear the stuff. So yeah.
And Jacqueline, she likes the earlier start time.
Hey, yeah. So guys, we are doing some testing here. We're trying to figure out when is the best time for myself and Dr. Ryan to be online at night live.
Yeah.
And we're asking the audience what that is. And the way we ask them is by going online and finding out who's online and who wants us on and when and where and why and how. So let us know where you're tuning in from. We did all last week from 10 Central to 11 Central. And this week we're doing from 9 Central to 10 Central. So let us know what your preference would be for time and let us know where you're at so we can better serve you, our audience.
Yeah. Hey, Debbie.
Debbie, what's up? Hope you're doing well. I got a key. You got a key to what? I need to know. We demand answers.
Yeah. You got a key, you got a coin. What'd you get?
Yeah, what's up here?
Pacific Northwest, PNW. All right.
You got a key to P. Oh, you're in. Oh, duh. We just asked where they're at.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, my brain's here. I swear it's here.
I didn't have to take a nap to be here. I like it. Oh, you got a key from the girl.
Ooh, hey. Now that is a big deal.
That's a
big deal.
That's like awesome.
Trust right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, as we all know, what is trust?
It is built over time and through experience.
There we go. Hey, I learned that from him. Without him and without the show, I wouldn't know that. There we go.
Relationship is going really good.
That's right, man. If you got a key, the relationship is definitely going good. So since we don't have any questions from the audience yet, what do you want to do? Are we going to lead the show out, or are we going to do an outro with 5 key relationship?
We can lead it out.
Fun. Leading it out with 5 fun relationship facts.
We can lead it out. I got them queued here.
Do it.
Make sure I'm on the right ones this time, since last time we had a little kerfuffle.
You know, but sometimes that makes the show more interesting. So you want to make some mistakes, sometimes it's okay.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Number 1. Here we go. The longest recorded marriage in history lasted for 90 years and 291 days.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, right. Number 2. A study found that couples who have a date night once a week are more likely to have a higher quality relationship. Number 3, according to research, couples who sleep in bed together tend to have a deeper emotional connection. And I know that one sounds weird, but you would be amazed at how many couples do not sleep in the same bed.
I think it's, I don't know. It's
It,
weird to
it's
me.
weird. It's really weird to me. Number 4, the brain chemistry of being in love is similar to that of being addicted to drugs. There's one for you. Number 5, studies have shown that couples who frequently express gratitude to each other have stronger and more satisfying relationships.
I'm just a gratitude fan in general. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a central tenet to my program is
Yeah.
somebody's ability to express gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you can start to be grateful for like life giving you lemons, sometimes it's pretty damn easy to stay sober, in
Yeah.
my experience and the people I work with. So yeah, dude, I think you better be
Yeah.
grateful for your partner, right?
100%.
So what do we got here? We
We
got
got, what do you think about long distance relationship early in recovery?
throw it away. I'm just kidding. I I was in a long distance divorce in early recovery. So my thoughts are I'm pretty other than don't drink and don't do drugs, my program's pretty no holds barred, man. I mean, within reason, but sometimes the most difficult things to do are the things that you need to do to stay sober. Like that's just a fact.
Yeah.
And if you can work the relationship from a long distance, go for it. Also, hey, she's not a rehab girlfriend. You're not going to go relapse with her because that's one of the main concerns about a relationship in early recovery is that you're going to go, drink or do drugs with the person.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty. I mean, I guess you could like Zoom or FaceTime each other and get wasted, but that doesn't sound like fun. So
No.
I don't see that being a thing. My thoughts are, do you, man?
Yeah.
Like for real. I know that's like pretty. I don't know,
I mean, if it's
ambiguous, but
yeah, if it's something you enjoy and it's something that brings you joy, there's no reason you shouldn't.
that's honestly the word that you said, the word that you just said is the most important part of what I'm working on, and it's joy.
Yeah.
If you could bring joy, I'm sure what you do is bring joy back to a relationship, right? Like, isn't that really what you're trying to do? Bring the joy back to a relationship. That's what I try to do. Bring joy back, excuse me, bring joy back to somebody's life.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, dude.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting joy out of your relationship, I don't care how far the distance is, man.
Yeah.
Go for it. So,
Thanks,
Daniel,
Daniel.
thank you for the question, man. I want to start a pool today. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I see the sleep in your eyes right now.
Oh,
after that
man.
big heavy meal. I want to start a pool. Okay. Is Ryan gonna fall asleep at the 30-minute mark or the 45-minute mark?
It could happen.
Dude, I was in a class. I was in a theory. It was a calm theory class, and
Yeah.
this dude straight conked out in this Zoom meeting, like snore, pass out. Like we're all sending him texts trying to wake him up and stuff. It was Lee's class, so it didn't go very well for him.
Uh-huh.
It was hilarious though, dude. I've never
Jeez.
seen that before. It wasn't even a boring class. He was just tired. He worked at a bar as a bouncer, so he needed a nap. So should we? What do we have? I see somebody that says I have a question.
Yeah.
What do we got
Monica.
here? You want to bring it up?
Monica Amber Greer. 21 days alcohol free. Any advice on how to deal with regrets or embarrassment from when I was still drinking?
Have you ever seen The Lion King?
Yeah.
It's in the past.
It is in the
You
past.
leave it there. You leave it there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of mostly not joking about that though. I mean, there's some things you might need to process that you're holding on to, but unless you have figured out how to create a time machine in this 21 days, what you did previously for the most part doesn't matter unless you feel obligated to somehow make it up to the people, do something to set something right, mend some fences, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I mean, I guess without more detail about what you kind of regret or embarrassed about, I can't tell you specifically how to act right. But most of it, just let it go. Thoughts?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. That's what you're doing when you're getting sober is you're kind of letting go of that persona, that person, that shit you were in,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
No, that's the scientific term. You got it.
And
You nailed it.
leave it in the past, leave it where it lies. I mean, I've heard so many sayings. The one that sticks in my mind is 1 foot in yesterday, 1 foot in tomorrow, you're shitting all over today.
Yep.
Right? That's talking about regret and anxiety, being anxious, looking to the future. I mean, live in today.
Yeah.
Let go
Yeah.
of those embarrassments. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but
As soon as you're comfortable in the present, even if that means sometimes being uncomfortable,
yeah.
sobriety becomes really easy. That's
Yeah.
when I can say from my experience, that's when it becomes a bit of a walk in the park. You have like some decent coping mechanisms. You learn to become present and mindful, self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when you become a well-oiled machine. You
Yeah.
just cruise through life. So
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else I can add to that. Unless
You're
you
gonna
do.
a lot of that's what's gonna fuel you to stay on the path.
Yeah. 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 And on the flip side, um, those regrets and that embarrassment
Mm-hmm.
definitely will help fuel your drinking, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. I think she likes your shitting on the present quote.
Living the day, living today.
Yeah, living today. Um, I mean that's the basis of the Serenity Prayer. Like if you're into that sort of thing. Um, so there's that. So
Yeah.
should we move on, man?
Yeah. Thanks, Monica.
What do we got? We got Doug. I'll hit
We
that
got
one
Doug
if you
in
want.
here. Yeah.
Oh man, do I get to do it? I get to do it. I do get to do it. So it is affecting your workouts. I want to make that abundantly clear. It There's so much science about, so alcohol actually like increases the amount of estrogen that you produce as a male. So that's always fun. That definitely helps you put on mass, right? Um, you actually you will after you are atrophying to an extent all the time. While you can be working out, so you're causing cellular growth, but
Mm-hmm.
you're still shrinking alongside that. Like you would be stronger, you would be fitter if you were sober.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I mean, I don't know what kind of like body fat you're like toting around, but booze isn't anybody's friend if that's something that you're concerned about. I mean, if you're concerned about your workouts, you're usually concerned about fitness and you can't be fit while you drink. It's a
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
As far as a way to wean your way off, there is. It's called extreme self-control. That's a total pain in the ass. And I've tried it successfully and unsuccessfully throughout the years. Like you just progressively do less. I don't know how many beers you're drinking a night, but make it one less tomorrow, and then one less the day after that, and one day, one less the day after that until you're not
Yeah.
drinking anymore. It's just really hard. Like
Yeah.
if it was easy for us to control how much we drank, I wouldn't even have this show. Like this, this wouldn't be a thing because Ryan and I wouldn't have. Maybe Ryan would be doing something. I don't know. I wouldn't be doing it though. Like I would never reason to do this. I'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I I would get to like, when I'm down to like 3 beers or 2 beers or 1 beer, and it's not doing anything for me. And I
Yeah.
didn't drink because I like beer. I drank because I like to get drunk. So
Yeah.
when I wasn't getting drunk, I was probably gonna beeline to the liquor store or have somebody bring me booze if I couldn't drive. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's how you do it to varying degrees of success. So I wish you the best of luck if that's your plan. I want to give Ryan a shout out because he deserves it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, she loved the quote.
Appreciate
I think
that.
that's important, man.
Appreciate that. About
You're very welcome, Monica. Amber Greer. 6 a night. Well, then start making it 5, and then 4, and then 3, 2, and 1.
man, the thing that I'm one of those people So for those that don't know, I was in recovery for nearly a decade. I went out on my own, did my own thing. I'm not sober today. I still drink occasionally,
You better
do
be
my
sober
thing.
today.
Oh, today I am.
Okay. Okay. I was just double checking.
I'm
So I have to
not
find a different
in any
co-host.
type of recovery or anything today. I'm
Okay.
just
Okay.
a lonely old relationship doctor.
A lonely, as you hear Melissa in the background laughing. Yeah, lonely old relationship doctor. Melissa, you got
But
a nice couch there.
yeah. Yeah. But oh, where was I going with that
Sorry,
before we
man.
went
I
off
didn't mean
on
to ruin everything.
this little thing? Oh, so like
6 a night
I
is
started
where it
drinking.
started.
Like the thing when I drink, it doesn't matter if it's water, if it's beer, if it's carbonated water, juice, soda. I drink whatever's in front of me. So when it like that's the truth. Like if it's there, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
So I just make sure, because we've talked about it on the show before. I have this weird thing in my head from being in recovery before that I have to constantly check to make sure I'm not actually an alcoholic. And one of the things I do, like I do sober October. I won't sit down and drink at the same time every night. If I've had too many in a weekend, I'll feel like I need to go a week and not drink. But the thing that actually helps me the most is like those sparkling bubbly waters or LaCroix or
Yeah.
anything like that, because it's more of just drinking. It has nothing to do with the alcohol. It's just
No,
drinking liquids.
and that's an interesting thing you bring up there, because it's almost like we would have a biological imperative to consume liquids to survive.
Yeah.
And
Weird.
it would bounce up and down on that dopamine trigger, motivate you to drink a liquid.
Yeah.
So weird.
Weird. And so I would say if I were you, I would start drinking some of that sparkling, the bubbly waters, the LaCroix, anything like that. Have
Yeah.
that around and just start drinking that instead.
Yeah. For our Aussie friends, I just recently learned that their NA beers allow 0.5% alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So the reason I bring that up is because we've talked about, and I'm bringing it up because you're like, it triggered my memory thinking about people that do like the NA beers as a way to not drink.
Yeah.
In Australia, I mean, if you pounded 10 beers pretty quickly, it's like you drank one. And if you're in recovery, that could become problematic, especially if the way that you drink is the way that you always drank, which was to pound beers.
Yeah.
So just word to the wise for my friends from down under. A little bit of concern for those that could fall into that trap. I mean, here in the U.S., you could not consume enough near beer to get any sort of buzz. But
even at 0.5, there's no way you could drink 10 beers quick enough.
I could drink 10 beers an hour.
Yeah, but
do we have to do it on the show?
That's equivalent to one. That's equivalent to one actual beer an hour.
Hey, listen, I don't know if you've ever met an alcoholic, but we go to extreme lengths to get drunk. I might not eat for a couple days before that just to get the feeling.
There is no way that is going to get you. There's no way.
But it's going to bounce on that teeter-totter harder than it does here in the States. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're not going to be able to get wasted. We're going to make that abundantly clear. Oh, my God. Daniel Scott West. Thank you.
Is kombucha.
I don't know, dude. So these are fun. Hold on.
3-alarm 21 north.
That's my 3-alarm fire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a hot take. No, dude. No, it's not. I don't think NA beer is either. People in AA would crucify me for that. And there's other people, and it's not just AA, there's other circles, recovery circles, that would crucify me for having this position. But dude, it's not going to impact your ability to be conscious in your moment, right? If it did, kids couldn't buy it. Kids can buy it. Okay. That's like saying cough syrup. If you take cough syrup that has a small amount of alcohol in it, you're breaking sobriety for taking cough syrup. Like,
Does
I'm even
kombucha have alcohol in it?
tiny trace amounts, man,
Oh.
because it's fermented. It's fermented.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even, if your doctor prescribes you something, even if your drug of choice, and I'm not saying to go do this, but if you're like strong in your recovery, I was told like, oh, even as an alcohol drinker, you better not be messing with narcotics because it's addictive if they give you like hydrocodone or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think you're throwing the baby out the bathwater there when you make those kinds of like generalized statements, and they make them for a reason, because there's someone out there that will relapse because of it. They'll use it as an excuse to relapse. So if they just paint the whole town black because of this one person, most of what I'm going to say is most of the recovery rules are made because of the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
So we're treating the very small minority so that they're safe.
Yeah.
And in turn, everyone else that might be doing good, I don't want to use the word punishment because that's not right, but we're made to feel guilty or shameful if we take part in like life, like normal life, like your question. The question about whether you should or shouldn't do a long distance relationship in early recovery. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you for asking it, because that's a totally fair question, but it's just crap that it has to be asked. Like that there's some sort of rule that exists that has been drawn out. That's like, there's this line in the sand where a therapist like won't want to see you anymore if you make a decision. Like, I think it's nuts, because they don't live your life, man. They don't live your life. Yeah. They just armchair tell you what's up, and you comply or you don't. So there you go. There's my hot take on that whole thing.
I like it.
I could keep ranting, but I'll stop.
I like it. I had no idea about kombucha.
Yeah, I mean, people take it to the nth degree. There's people that won't even use hand sanitizer because it has alcohol in it, and it's just like, nah, dog. What's really fun is when you first get sober and the whole world goes into a lockdown, and there's hand sanitizer everywhere you go. And in the small town you're from, there is like a distillery that is helping produce said hand sanitizer that smells exactly like tequila at every single store that you go to. Yeah. That's a blast. I survived though. So, but it was an adventure. I got to write that down because I almost forgot about that story for when it's story time. Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, no, I washed my hands with hand sanitizer because we basically had to.
Yeah.
And I did not relapse. So I stand here as a testament that you can use hand sanitizer and stay sober for years later. In case you're curious.
The hand sanitizer and the cologne. The people who won't wear cologne because it has alcohol in it.
It's a little extreme, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's not just my opinion.
Come on, man. That's just ridiculous.
I need a pen. I'll be right back. 2.0.
Oh, okay. You need a pen? Oh, well, he's leaving y'all with me. Oh, here he comes. He's back.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, so like at its core, it's like when we're drinking, alcohol is our identity. And I hope for every client that I work with and for everyone watching that when you find sobriety, I'm like, I guess this is another kind of hot take, like my definition of sobriety, the way I live it, the program of recovery that I work, is that your identity is no longer tied to alcohol at all.
Yeah.
It's not a part of who you are. It's part of who you were. I mean, you don't have to close the book, but we shouldn't fear booze or its byproducts or anything like that, or else I mean, did we ever really get better? I don't know. I mean, you're still just as obsessed with alcohol, just in the way other direction. Like, no thanks, man. That's largely why I kind of bailed on AA. Is like I am spending almost the same amount of time obsessing over alcohol, but I'm sober. I'm still hanging out with drunks that we just don't drink. Like half these people are the people I used to drink with at the bar. We're just all here. hanging
Yeah.
out sober at not the bar. It didn't feel like it didn't for this guy here. Not knocking anybody in the audience that does AA or anything like that, but for this guy, it wasn't enough. I needed something more. So here we
Yeah,
are.
I mean, that was the biggest, man, that was the biggest reason I left 12-step programs and stuff and just kind of went out on my own, did my own thing, was because it seemed like everybody, they were incapable of taking responsibility for their actions. They would make a mistake, and it was constantly the guy that would come into the meeting, say, "Oh, I just chewed my wife's ass out. I yelled at her, screaming, blah 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 blah," and immediately apologize like that's going to make it better. But the next week he would come back and say the same thing again. "Oh, it's okay because I admitted I was wrong, and I apologize." And like, there's only so much of that you can do before you have to realize I need to take responsibility for my actions, and that means not doing them again.
What is it in cultures? You have these secondary elaborations that exist as fail safes to keep the culture alive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that. I mean, we're not going to go way down that rabbit hole right now, but there's a bunch of those that exist in 12-step programs.
Yeah.
Where you can keep coming back, you know, and you don't really get better. But anyways, This is not the Railroad AA show. So we're not going to do that. So there. Anyways, it's probably that time. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
Ryan's nap time. No,
Dude.
It is introduce each other again time. For
Oh,
those
yeah.
that just stepped in. It's your turn, dude.
Yeah, for those just stepping in to join us, once again, I am Dr. Ryan. I'm a relationship coach. I'm also an expert in interpersonal communication and relationship development. I help take your relationship from stagnant to thriving in under 60 days because it is possible. And who are you?
I'm Dylan Reed, professional recovery coach. Most people just call me Dylan, and most of the people down here south call me Mr. Dylan.
Yeah.
And I drank for about 20 years, and I've been sober for about 3.5. And I help other people find the level of recovery that I experience on a regular basis that allows me to buy my wife a drink on the weekend, bring it to her from the bar, and not even sweat. So if that's something that you think you'd like in your life, at me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I usually say don't at me in the comments, but you can at me in the comments for that one.
Yeah. Y'all can at me for any reason. It's to that point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I say don't at me because most of the time I won't defend. I'll defend some of my positions, but some of them I'm like, I'm not defending this. I don't need to explain myself to you about why I hold the position that I do.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of times it's somebody that's been sober for a week that wants to tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
And I go, okay. And you tell me how to do it, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So should we take a question?
Let's go for it.
From the hat. I'll pull one out of the hat, man.
All right. Pull one out.
I wish we had your thing here. So we had the Jeopardy. Like Jeopardy sound. That'd be pretty cool if we had that. Nope, we already did this one. Hey, I like this one. I'm assuming it's what do you do when you're in pain? Like real physical pain that impacts your quality of life.
Yeah.
So, for those that are not aware, if your drug of choice would be some sort of narcotic, they make analogs for pain mediation that are not narcotic based for like all sorts of stuff. So there's options out there. That's something you could do. This is something Ryan I love. Cold therapy is pretty huge.
Yeah.
For a remedy for pain. There's a lot of science out there with people that have had like serious neuropathy, and through cold exposure, concentrated cold exposure over time, they've been able to completely eliminate the pain they're experiencing. So like fibromyalgia and those kinds of things. So I'm for cold exposure. I'm for exercise also. Exercise is a really good pain reliever. That's what I would say, you know. And then, you know, that's probably it. I mean, talk to your doctor. You should always advocate for yourself when you're talking to a doctor. Always be honest and transparent about what's going on when you're talking to a doctor, especially in the beginning, because if your doctor doesn't know that you're a recovering opiate addict, that's like the mainstay. Like, I mean, that's like the staple that they prescribe for pain. So you're going to end up probably getting prescribed a narcotic, an opioid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because they're trying to get you to relapse, it's because they don't know any better. So if you don't let them know, they don't know what they don't know, right?
Yeah. I would say the same thing. So I've had multiple back fusions. Right now I have a numb spot pretty much from my butt cheek all the way down to my knee. I'm just in constant pain. The cold exposure, the cold plunge, the cold baths, exercise, stretching, all of that super, super helpful. I don't take pain medications for it. I just kind of soldier through it. And so I'll get in the cold ice bath and do that just to take care of it. It's not that I'm opposed to having or taking any medication. It's that it masks the problem. That's my thing. It doesn't really help with the pain. It just makes it a little more bearable. And if I'm not here to make things a little bit more bearable.
You want it to be better.
What's that?
You want it to be better or not better?
The pain?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I want it to be better, but I'll probably end up having a second surgery. I've tried the chiropractor. The only thing that seems to work is just continually exercising, pushing through the pain. I mean, everybody's body is different. I know my body fairly well, so I know what I can push through and what I can't. But I do feel really good after the gym or a walk or physical activity or the ice bath. It has helped tremendously.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways like narcotics are new, ladies and gentlemen. Like readily available pills.
Yeah.
We survived through a lot of pain. Like, you think about the pain that people actually went through to get to where we are today, like some of our ancestors, like living with broken legs without anyone to fix them, and those people procreated. It's pretty cool. So we can make it. I'm not saying you can't use medicine. I'm just pointing that out, but we can get through a lot if we let our bodies do what our bodies want to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Daniel's got another question down there.
I'll toss it up, man.
Should I not seek a partner that's also in recovery, or is it somewhat beneficial because we can relate? I feel like I'm being one-dimensional if I do.
So sorry, I'm.
Oh, you're good.
Not so being dramatic.
My take on it would be I think you're putting too much pressure on yourself and the relationship, thinking about it in these terms. Obviously your sobriety, her sobriety, if you're both in, is super important. But you still have to do what's best for you, regardless of what that looks like. Don't put so much pressure on the recovery part in the relationship. Like, focus on yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, this goes back to your joy thing. I mean, if you relate to somebody because you have a shared tapestry, that's normal. I mean, we seek partners out that we have some level of affinity with, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not kink shaming, but hopefully it's not like what you're just looking for. Like, that's it. Like, you're only allowing yourself the ability to connect with somebody that has, because here's my concern. That's trauma bonding, or could be a form of trauma bonding if you're only seeking out people that have that shared experience,
Yeah.
and that doesn't provide like a whole lot of depth or breadth to your relationship.
No.
I mean, it could provide some depth, but not very much breadth, because you're just like one topic. Both of you relate a lot about that. I mean, I don't know. I've seen it go both ways. I mean, it can be very bad to be with somebody that has a similar problem as you, or it can be super good because you are able to relate about it and support one another.
Yeah.
But there's a hell of a lot of stories out there about Jack and Jill going down the hill to fetch a pail of water that has nothing to do with water. And it just ends badly for everybody, right? So, however you want to do that, again, nice ambiguous answer for you. I just say expand your horizons is my thoughts, especially if you're just dating. You're dating to try things out.
Yeah.
Like, the story of recovery. I mean, not recovery, addiction. Hopefully you're starting to know the story of recovery. But go find someone that's sober, man. Give that a shot. You might be surprised that you can relate with them also, just not on that facet, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not the relationship guy, man. I'm the sobriety guy. I just say I don't think it's dangerous to you.
No.
They use, for the record.
I
don't think
it matters whether you date somebody who is in recovery or you date somebody who's not. I've dated both. The ones in recovery never ended well for me.
Right.
Because here's the thing, they're working on something. They don't have their shit together. I was working on something. I obviously didn't have my shit together. It just was a recipe for disaster. But I also then I found like I could date anybody and experience new things, learn more about myself in the process that had nothing to do with recovery. It was me outside of recovery, living a normal, healthy, fulfilling life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so can we like go Johari on this for a second?
Yeah.
I mean, because if you and your partner have the same shared experiences, then they can't help you reveal parts of yourself that are undiscovered to you, because they all exist for us, right? Does that make sense? Does that track?
Well, that's only true for a very small portion of that.
Yeah.
They can't.
Do you get what I'm getting at, though?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very.
Am I being too shallow here?
It's a one thing when you're talking about the Johari, like the unknown. It would be, like you're asking them to find out if you're also, I don't know, like they know everything about your recovery.
Yeah.
It's less about that. They can still help you find out, right, some of your different likes, some of your different desires, your passions, your dislikes, all of those things. They can help you find those things because that's all done through communication.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why he's the doctor. I'm just
Dylan. I wouldn't necessarily say they couldn't, but when it came to recovery, there is that shared experience where it'll be, hey, like how much of this are we going to explore? We can still explore certain areas of recovery, like together, but the Johari window is more about the self instead of that overarching theme.
Okay, fair, cool.
But that's how you find out you maybe have a problem, is through self-disclosure and other disclosure, and somebody points it out to you. You may not have known until somebody says, hey, you're kind of messing up here.
Yeah, that's the part none of us want to admit to ourselves when we're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
is that the people around us have a better idea of whether we have a drinking problem than we do ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to hear it. Like, no, you have a problem. Like,
Yeah, no shit.
No, it was me. It was me the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So cool. You got anything loaded up, or are you gonna make me do it again?
I'm gonna make you do it again.
Why? There you go.
There we go. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This over here is Dylan Reed from
Recovery.
Dylan in the Dock, recovery
Dylan in the
expert,
Dock.
founder
Recovery
of
expert.
I Am Not Your Sponsor.
That's right. 'Cause I'm not your sponsor. I had somebody actually ask me if I'd sponsor them the other day. I was like super confused. Like, I had sent them to my website that is I Am Not Your Sponsor, and then they asked if I'd sponsor them. I was like, well, that's weird.
It may have just been they wanted help, and they
I
just
ended up
viewed
talking
you
to her.
as that mentor.
Yeah, I talked to her, and she wanted to get connected with somebody in AA, and I was like, well, I'm not that guy, but I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I hate alcohol. It makes me sick, tired, and lazy. The taste is gross, but I can't get rid of overwhelming anxiety without it. I couldn't fit the whole thing on here because there's a character limit, but it goes on to talk about how her doctor took took the Klonopin away from her.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm not going to make assumptions, but it's almost a safe assumption there might have been some level of abuse going on there.
Yeah.
But all that aside, ladies and gentlemen, drinking increases anxiety. You might get some temporary relief when we first imbibe, but it's temporary. It becomes even more temporary over time, and it heightens anxiety and all other periods of our life. There's this cool term called hangxiety, and that's when you wake up in the morning with a hangover and anxiety. Even if you don't have anxiety, you get to see what that's like.
Yeah.
So, you are causing your anxiety to get more overwhelming by drinking. I took this one up because I wanted to dispel any false or preconceived notions that we might have in our head that somehow alcohol is a way to cope with anxiety. It is not, temporarily, maybe at best, but if you're going to have heightened cortisol levels when you're sober because you drink, I don't see how that works, right?
What are some ways you can get rid of anxiety in recovery?
Okay, so exercise is huge.
Yeah.
Big, huge. That's a buffer for all sorts of mental health ailments. Getting good sleep is helpful to deal with anxiety. My favorite is self-awareness and mindfulness to then actually access the source of our anxiety. Granted, most of us have anxieties we can do nothing about. Like I woke up this morning worried about something I had no control over. That will happen. But you'll find that once you start to pay attention to the thoughts in your head, we have recurring thoughts. Anxiety is a motive. Like anxiety is part of the reason we're alive and we're here. It motivates us to take action.
Yeah.
So if you're aware of a problem because you can't stop thinking about it, try to do something about it. So what action can you take in your life to make a change upon the actions, but the things that are acting upon you to make you feel anxiety? That's my favorite because it's like a cure. I mean, it's not a cure. It's a cure for that situation specifically like that. And you won't have anxiety about that thing anymore because you did your homework or whatever it might be. Right.
Yeah.
How about you, man? You got any? What do you do?
So I tell people I send them all on one of two things, either reflecting on emotions. So I have them do a mood journal, mindful meditation. I even have them do emotion mapping and a trigger list. And then I also go on to do a loving kindness meditation. I know it sounds weird, but it helps you be in the moment, because anxiety is thinking about the future.
Yep.
So it's bringing you back, and I have them kind of sit there and say it to themselves. So bring somebody to mind that they care about and just say, hey, I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be safe, and I want you to be at peace. And I have them say this about a person, usually their significant other, not because I want them thinking more about their partner, but because I want them more in the present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is just doing things to get yourself into the here and now to get rid of that anxiety.
I gave my wife that piece of advice a couple weeks ago. She was doing a new surgery at work, and she was like kind of freaking out about it. And that's kind of what I told her. I was like, usually when we're anxious, we are catastrophizing about scenarios that more often than not never even come to pass in our life.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
the wildest part about it is we spend so much of our life worrying about a future that doesn't even exist and then never even does. Which is unfortunate, because then we miss, like we were talking about, we miss out on the present moment, you know, what is actually going on. Yeah. So there you go, man. Yeah, dude.
What else you got over there?
Why are you just gonna make it? I swear, if you eat steak and vegetables before the show tomorrow,
Dude, it's just, man, it's been today was the day from hell. I will tell you that. It started out bad. Like, it's one of those days where it starts out bad and it just kind of follows you through the whole day.
I've been there. I mean,
And that was kind of like my whole morning, and it was just emotionally draining, more so than physically.
I can definitely relate to that on occasion.
But I'm excited to get up tomorrow morning. It's leg day at the gym.
There you go, dude.
So super stoked about that.
It's weird of you to say that.
Why, you don't like leg day?
I thought you were supposed to skip leg day.
Never skip leg day, man.
Hear your lady in the background.
Never.
I always say that it's hard to build a house if you don't have a good, strong, solid foundation.
Yeah.
So there's a point where your upper body will kind of not continue to react to stimulus if you're not working on your legs some.
Well, like I was talking about earlier, my back issues, the majority of back issues are core issues, not necessarily your back. So leg day for me is just, there's so much core involved in it that's kind of why I like it so much. It just activates my core and makes my back feel so much better.
I feel bad because I didn't load it up for the show today. I had a really good question that somebody just asked me.
Dun, 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 dun,
here you go. I found it. It took me a minute. I got it. You can stop now, Alex Trebek. Here we go.
So new to being sober, but I wake up with a hangover. Does this last long? Has anybody else experienced this? Interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I, in like the height of my drinking, couldn't stand on one leg without having a drink. I know that sounds like makes no sense whatsoever, but I was like more coordinated while intoxicated than while sober, because that had become my like default status, I suppose. And that's most likely what this person's talking about here. It's like you are so messed up that you're messed up when you're sober.
Yeah.
You're sober when you're messed up, you know? So the feeling of the hangover is that. And then the other thing is dopamine, my friends. It's that whole teeter-totter thing. What comes up must go down. You know, goes up must come down. There you go.
Yeah.
Now the steak and potatoes are getting to me. It's like it's like we can't. You're gonna get some bad in the beginning. I'm shocked with the number of people, which is very few, but the fact that there are some people that get sober and it's like no negative pressure points on their life whatsoever. It's the strangest thing to me.
What do you mean?
Oh, I sleep good. I've lost weight. I'm immediately happy. People call it the pink cloud and stuff. I mean, my life got pretty good, stayed pretty good, has continued to stay pretty good. I suppose I'm still hanging out in the pink cloud, but I definitely didn't have 100% immediate unicorns and rainbows.
Yeah.
Especially emotionally.
Yeah.
That's what I experienced a lot of, was an emotional hangover when I got sober, because I didn't know how to cope with my emotions very well, because I never really felt them. Growing up in my circle as a guy, you weren't allowed to really have them. It's the whole like, you don't show emotions or you're weak kind of stuff. And then by the time that I could make my own decision about my emotions, I was drunk. So I didn't feel them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
and if you do, here's the other thing I would like to point out. Drunk people do still feel emotions. They're just super exaggerated. Like you're super mad or you're super sad. Like you don't actually feel emotions for what they actually are. So when we do feel them, even though they're to a lesser degree, they feel more extreme because you're actually like in them. Instead of you acting them out, emotions seem to act upon us when we're sober. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. I don't know, the person who gets drunk and always cries.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like
one of those ones.
It's just like extreme emotions. Or like they get mad every single time they drink.
Yeah.
But that's not who they are normally.
Totally. Actually, somebody posted a meme. I have a Discord server for people, and somebody posted a meme that was talking about being married to a drunk is like being married to two people at once.
Yeah.
And it can very much be that way. I've been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, So, well, guys, I think that's it, man. We're kind of at the top of the hour. I'm not going to lie. After the last week from 10 to 11, I am so excited to get some sleep tonight. I've been taking sleep for granted, it turns out, until this last week. And then I was like really reminded of how cool it is. I was like, it's like getting ready for the show. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, we're done at 10 tonight. So I get to go to bed. I'll be asleep hopefully by 11. Get up at 5. I get 6 hours tonight. Like, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
I shoot for more, but I also I aim to please. So we're here for you guys. Thank you everybody that tuned into the show.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to our antics.
I'm gonna airdrop some caffeine to Ryan for the rest of the week.
It. Thanks, Doug. Thanks, Monica.
You're putting yourself in a food coma before we go live.
Oh man, I tell you, man, big old steak and a bunch of vegetables. It was just,
dude, it's so funny because
it was a recipe for disaster, is what it was.
We call it the slow blink with our kids. You can always tell when they're getting tired because they just stare and then just blink like really slow. And you're over there doing that, and I'm like, that's why I said we gotta start this pool. He made it. I would have lost money on the deal, but
8:30 is my bedtime, so this was perfect. Thanks, guys. Awesome.
Oh, nice. You must be over on the West
Coast. Thanks,
You're
Daniel.
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, man. Yeah, stoked. We're stoked. We'll be here the rest of the week. Hey, is that Jess? What's up?
It is.
Yeah, we'll be here the rest of the week at 9 Central, 8 Mountain.
I promise I will be more awake tomorrow.
Dude, I was just thinking, I was like, man, this was supposed to be last week if you're going to be pulling this.
I know.
This guy's falling asleep on the job over here.
Oh, it
But
happened.
it's the silky notes in my voice just
It
lulling you to
is
sleep.
just putting me right to sleep.
I guess we'll just have to get a different voice actor to handle this. Like, hey, well, I'll hire somebody to stand in, stunt double.
There we go.
Well, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all for being here. Looking forward to seeing you for the rest of the week. For those of you that continue to attend, and for those of you that don't, we wish you a happy, healthy relationship, recovery, and just life in general.
Yeah. Y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.